Everyone, welcome to this 30-day Change, Grow and Transform series. And today we're on day 23, and we're looking at resilience in the face of challenges. So the affirmation is, I'm resilient, challenges only make me stronger. And the oracle card associated with this is the Tower, and the Tower can represent sudden change, upheaval, and transformation. While this can feel unsettling, the Tower reminds us that from destruction comes new growth. It clears away illusions and false foundations and allows the space for authenticity and rebuilding. Embrace this card as a signal to let go of what no longer serves you and trust the process of renewal. So today is the theme of resilience, and in the face of challenges, the Tower may seem daunting, but it's a powerful card, and it signifies a clearing away of anything false or outdated in our lives. Think of it as life's way of making room for something better. And I'll guide you through understanding how to navigate change and recognize its purpose and find strength during turbulent times. So the first tip really is to practice acceptance. If we're not in a crisis, what I often say to clients, if we're not in a crisis and it's a not 999 situation, then we can take time to reflect on what's happened, what was the Tower event. Sometimes they are big events like a breakup, marriage ending, losing a job, having to move quickly, finding out something about somebody that was shocking. So normally the Tower crumbling is a shocking process. And like any grief cycle, shock is usually the first aspect, first experience of that. So we need to take care and put in some self-care practices. Get adequate rest, make sure you're eating okay, that you've got some support, and get further support if you need it, depending on what's going on for you. And then we have to start moving towards accepting. So, okay, so what is it that's going on? What is in my control? What can't I control? And what might be the next steps moving forward? And if you don't know what they are initially, that's okay. Find a quiet place to sit and breathe deeply for 5 minutes. It's quite hard for people who are really tense and stressed and in this sense of chaos to even sit down and breathe, let alone for 5 minutes. I get that, but it is really important. The breathing slows down the different systems in the body. We've got parasympathetic and we've got sympathetic systems. So one of them is the stress response system, which is fight or flight. So we can feel shocked and want to run or act or do something radical. Or we've got the flight, which is run away, or we've got the fawn, which is where we don't know what to do. We just freeze and do nothing. And sometimes those different reactions, our responses, come out in different ways for different events, because everyone's had a Tower moment in their life, and initially you can feel shocked and overwhelmed and you don't know what to do. Then you talk to friends or family and you get some further support. But it's important to breathe. We need to just reset the nervous system each time. And especially for people who've experienced trauma, is that nervous system will be reactivated. Even with so-called smaller events can knock you off, off your track. So the breathing exercises of just deep breathing, not shallow breathing from the chest, but deep breathing from the stomach. And if you can count, now as you notice, I breathe a bit through my nose and also through my mouth. So I've been heavy on the activity this week. I've got some mild asthma, and so sometimes I don't always get the same lung capacity. So today is one of my rest days to help me just my body reintegrate sort of and calm down, inflammation to calm down from some of the exercises I was doing this week, which is great, but it still has that sort of resonance from the previous accidents and stuff that I've had in the past. So then we reflect on a current challenge. So instead of resisting it, say to yourself, I accept what is happening right now. And then journal, write about one lesson this challenge is teaching you. And I think in terms of practicing acceptance, it takes time. In the grief cycle, it's shock, anger, sadness, rage, before we move into acceptance. And we can move into acceptance quick, or we can take time, depending on the issue. And it's usually from that place where we're in sort of calm brain again. When we're in anger or rage, or we've had a shock, we're in fight or flight. We're not able to think as clearly. So we need to allow ourselves to process the information and feel it, and then work through that in some way. So the journal prompt is to think about change, shock, and transition in general. How do you typically respond to sudden change? What one belief or habit do you need to let go of? And how can you rebuild stronger foundations in your life so that if something happens, it doesn't knock you so hard? Um, Often it's good to think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If on the basic level of human existence, we need shelter, warmth, water, and food. And if you've got those things in place, when something happens beyond that, then we can be okay for a few days or for a week or so while we reorientate and decide whether or not we need to do something next. So hopefully that's been helpful. So resilience also is really important to think about. In the mental health field, when I was running mental health services, we looked at two things when we met with clients: is what's the risk factors, what kind of predisposes you to having some mental health issues like depression, anxiety, or even deeper issues, going into psychosis or other mental health issues, and what resilience factors support you, because you can have lots of risk factors, but if you've got good resilience, a mindset, physical resilience, strong mindset, and you also know that you've got through things before, then those factors really play a role in helping you even when times get tough. So it's really important to know what kind of things expose you to further mental health concerns. And we're all on the mental health spectrum. At some stage, we move up it and don't cope as well, may experience anxiety or low mood. And at some stages, we move to the other side of it, where we feel happier, healthier, more abundant, and things feel well. People can oscillate between those two extremes on a day-to-day level. And the idea of these programs is to get you more centered and grounded using breath work. Grounded just means bringing your awareness and attention down to your feet, and walking on grass and going into forests, and just spending some time out in nature or even in your back garden, and just spending that time taking your awareness down to your feet. So it's really important that you practice these exercises, especially if you are wobbly and easily thrown off sort of emotionally. So hopefully this has been helpful. Write down where you think you've already got some resilience and what you have faced where you have done well and you've got through it, and everybody has got something. And I look forward to seeing you on day 24. Like in all the other videos, if you like this, like and subscribe, leave some comments below, or contact me direct on mail, gbb555@hotmail.com, and set up a 3-session Kickstarter series so that we can move you forward in your life.